I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to my fellow sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to my fellow sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to my fellow sentient beings. Sanje joda zoge jonanda chanju padu tani jaksuche age jinsoge be sonange jola penge sanje rupara isho Sanje joda zoge jonanda chanju padu tani jaksuche age jinsoge be sonange jola penge sanje rupara isho Sanje joda zoge jonanda Kanjo bardo dane gyasuche, age jinso gebe sonange, dola denge sanje para isho, sanje joda zoge jonanda, chanjo bardo sonange, dola denge sanje para isho, Om ye dharma. Hetu prabhava hetum tesham vatagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhava Hetum tesham datagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhava Hetum tesham datagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. This decision process as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, we are on 96. And when both myself and others are similar in what we do not wish to suffer, what is so special about me? So here when you say me, you remember where, the 8 verse of mind training, where the people who read it for the first time or who are not exposed to the underlying, the background, deeper the meanings, even if it is very self-denial, I take the defeat, and I offer the victory to my enemies. So there, it's not about the self-denial. It's about, let's say, rejecting undermining the ego, self-centered attitude. So when you present this on yourself, that why do I strive for my own happiness alone? And say that you are actually undermining the self-centered attitude, and you reinforce your self-confidence. You're getting it? So here, don't mix the two things: the ego and the self-confidence. Self-confidence, very precious. Without self-confidence, you will not have the aspiration, may I become Buddha for the benefit of beings. It requires a tremendous self-confidence. At the same time, ego is the one which destroys your self-confidence. The ego is a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of strength. Strength should lie on the solid ground of the facts. And ego is grounded on the falsity, on the illusion that you are somebody. And then when people don't respect you as much as what you think you should be, then your ego simply flares up. So, and these are the skillful means to undermine the ego and to boost our self-confidence. So, self-confidence, ego, the two should be distinguished. Okay. And 96. And when both myself and others are similar in that we do not wish to suffer, why? What is so special about me? So they look, what is so special about me? Only confident people can say this. So, and why do I protect myself and not others? But why should I protect them? Now this is the rhetorical question from the self-centered attitude. Now self-centered attitude is talking to you, saying that, why should I protect them in their suffering if their suffering does not cause me any harm? This is what we should think like this. Why should I protect them if their suffering does not cause me any harm? So why protect? Then the next two lines is the response by Bodhisattva Shantideva. Then why protect myself against future suffering if it causes me no harm now? So now, why should I worry about future? Why should I keep, the working on the savings is for the future? So they say, you are now enjoy. Why should I worry about the future? Future is not it's not you now. Okay, so 98. It is the mistaken conception to think that I shall experience the suffering of my next life, for it is another person who dies and another that will be born. Let's say that, okay, future I should take care of. I may not take care of other people, but I should take care of the future. Because the future and this person, they say, share the same continuum. Yes, you agree like this? This will be your answer. So what the idea is that they say, self-centered attitude says that I should take care of myself. Why should I worry about others' problem? Then Bodhisattva Shantideva was saying that why should you worry about the future problem? Your future problem, because it is you now. So you now and you future, they're different people. So why should you worry about the future person? You in the future. Then the response was the future person and me, these two are same continuum. So therefore I have to worry. Whereas the other person, different continuum. So I don't have to worry. This is this self-centered attitude. Now Bodhisattva Shantideva, this is a very important point now. Okay. It is mistaken conception to think that I shall experience the suffering of my next life. That's a continuum. For it is now Bodhisattva Shantideva is saying that the person who dies and the person who is reborn. So intrinsically, objectively, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Objectively, it's just an illusion that we create. For example, like you remember, I am very unhappy, right? So there's how many you got little sense that, oh, this is really an illusion, right? Oh, what happened to Cheryl? Disappeared. You're cozy there. Okay. Okay, so how many got little sense that, okay, that's interesting. I am very unhappy, but the object, nobody said it. But I heard it, undeniably, I heard it. So it's really like illusion. How many got some sense? Minimum like 40%. The sense? Very good, very good. So now you have to strengthen, reinforce this. So where we believe that it's so intrinsically real, we are in this dream. When you say this illusion, like we are now on the verge to waking up, we briefly woken up and again go to sleep. Yes, that time you felt a little strange or like uneasy or deep inside something shaken. If that happens, a little partially woken up and again goes to sleep. Okay, so we have to wake up fully by studying, contemplating, and meditating constantly. Okay, so and the concept of this, like there's so like, oh, I'm dying now, I'm taking rebirth, I should take care of that. No, you should take care of your next birth. But what it's saying is that I should not worry about other beings, I should take care only about me. This is solidification of self. Self-centered attitude, self-grasping, both are coming together, whereas disregarding others. Whereas you see everything's like at the play of dependent origination. It's like illusion. It's like illusion. It's not illusion. Everything's like illusion, but within that play of the illusion, everything exists efficaciously. Cause and effect operates so effectively, orderly. There's no way by which you can say it's just imagination. It doesn't. It's not case. So, but if you see that they're all subjectively operating, all your fears, the pains, they're grounded on the belief that things are objectively real. The foundation for the fear, anxiety all dissolves. At the same time, you see that things are functioning the efficacy. So with this, your understanding dependent origin, your compassion deepens. What stops the compassion is the ego, fear, and so on and so forth. These stop the compassion. Oh, if I go there, what happened to me? Now, this is grounded on the self-grasping ignorance. When self-grasping ignorance dissolves, when you see things are anti-objective reality, that fear dissolves. When the fear dissolves, then you become easy to express compassion. Okay. 99. Surely, whenever there is suffering, the sufferer must protect himself from it. But suffering of the foot is not that. And then the opponent, which self-cherishing says, the two lines. Yes, when you suffer, it's your suffering, you have to take it to yourself. But other sufferers, it's nothing to do with you, so you don't take care of yourself. You take care of others. So Bodhisattva said, but the suffering of the foot is not that of the hand. Then why does this hand go to protect the foot? 100. Although this may not be justified, it is done because of grasping self. Then the verse answer, okay, that makes sense. I have a problem with the foot, then my hands will go to help, right? So, what's the justification? I don't go to help the other people, but I help myself. My foot with my hand, although these are different, but I go to help. Why? Because in it there is a sense of oneness. I, right? I, my foot, my hands, I, this is one entity. Where is this one entity? This is illusion, like I am very unhappy. You're getting it? So this illusion is created. So it says that such things as continuum like I today, I tomorrow, next life, I. So there's a flow there. There's continuum. And then I'm made of the body, my mind, aggregation is also like illusion. For example, we talk about the Misha the bear. What's there? Misha the bear, right? Misha the bear. So we see one entity there. You getting it? Why the spectators they're crying? Why the spectators are crying? Hey, why the spectators are crying to see the Misha bear? Huh? So because we see the spectators, they're seeing the bear there who resembles the Olympic, the USSR Olympic to what is that? No, 1980. So you see and this is representative of the Olympic mission here, and now he's crying, and it's coming to the end, and the spectators they become so emotional. They also cry. You must watch it. It must be the Google. The Google search it. You must watch it. It's cry, and many of you may also cry. But the Misha Bear, there's no Misha Bear crying. What is Misha Bear? Like 2,000 people who made the Misha Bear. These people are very nervous. There's no crying, there's no tears coming. But this is just an aggregation of these 2,000 people put together. We get illusion there's a Misha Bear who's crying. Okay, so such things as continuum and aggregation are false in the same way as a rosary and an army. What is a rosary? There's a rosary. A rosary is nothing but coming together of the many beads put together. Like, I am very unhappy. And you see as rosary. Is this a bead? People say, no, it's not a bead. It's a rosary. But if you remove this thread, and the beads put together, there's not a rosary, it's a collection of the beads. But you see a rosary, it's just an illusion that a mind is creating. Like was the aggregation of the Misha Bear, aggregation of 2,000 people, and then you see as one entity. So we feel that there are different parts of the body and the mind, 5 aggregates, and we see as one entity, I. You getting it? This is not illusion, it's like illusion. So if you see that this is like illusion, then the very foundation of all our fears gone. The foundation of our the fear is gone. Okay, 이걸 봅시다. Yeah, any dollar can begin back, can begin the fish. 다른데 이거라 걔들나 감미되었대 아자라죠 걔들 치료 감미에 소좀 안에 한 파도 쓰는데 파도 되죠 that's okay so what I'm saying is that seeing things as one entity actually is an aggregation seeing this as a continuum again it's just come together of the many moments put together by our mind and create a sense of one entity. It's all like illusion. So if you see them as illusion, then your mind, unnecessary mental stress, anxiety, anger will all dissolve. This is extremely important point. And I would say that if you get a glimpse of emptiness, that is all like illusion, right? Say for example, I am very unhappy. Number one. Number two, that I am young, I am old, right? Okay, 39 years and below his hands. Very happy. Look, Matthew, how he has his hands like this, which means I belong to a young category. You're getting it? Okay, do you know that age is based on body, and the body is based on atoms. If you agree with this, and the atoms, they're all same age, then if you think like this, a tinge of a disturbance can come to your mind. Mental instability, mental disturbance will come to you. Oh, that's very true. You getting it? Oh, that's very true. Where is this age? This is just what I'm seeing as an age. Is go here, you check, you see there's no age difference. You getting it? Okay. So then say something will shake from within that I am young. And as they say, there is unspoken sense of I wouldn't say arrogance, that I'm young. He's old, look at him, he's old. This, Dorji, he's old, I'm young. Right? And so they are saying this will dissolve. Because you have this, one day you will reach my age. And somebody younger will replace you. And they'll say, this girl is old, this man is old. You are going to want to be appointed by somebody else as old or young. Okay. So with this, if we see these things as, wow, this is amazing, then many of the unnecessary mental obsessions will dissolve. You getting it? And then your mind gets ample of time to, so because this is so trivial, this is so trivial, this is so trivial, this is so trivial, that's so trivial, that's so trivial. And that unnecessary pull and push stops. Then you get ample of time to think more on universal compassion, Bodhichitta, wisdom, and so forth, and meanwhile you keep growing. Okay, so these are very the precious things. And also we talk about gender attraction. Gender attraction, what is that thing which I'm attracted to? That object, attracted to the body, generally body, yes? You agree? And body is nothing but made of organs. Organs are made of cells. Cells are made of chromosomes and so forth, and these are made of DNA molecules. DNA molecules are made of atoms. And on the atomic level, there's no one atom to say this is what? Male atom, this is a female atom. There's no difference. All atoms are the same. Then on that level, where is the gender? It can shake your basic belief in what the reality is. It can shake. If you feel a little bit of shake, okay, how many of you after this, you just thought about it and then, wow, where is the age difference? Where is the gender? Whereas I am feeling unhappy, whereas this is all just illusion. So you felt a little bit of, say, what is that? Something shaking inside. Maybe 10%, 5%, doesn't matter. Something with hands. Very good. Which means this is woken up a little bit, and instantly, the moment you see the cheesecake, instantly go back to sleep, goes back to dream. You getting it? Okay, never mind. You woke up a little bit. This is very precious. Now you put the conscious effort to think about these, and gradually your mind will become more and more stable with these realizations. When you become very stable, then you will discard. For example, your hand busy going after the garbage. You see this old garbage, then you stop going after the garbage and you will pick up the gems. What is the gem? Opening, unraveling your hidden treasure within. This is so precious, so precious. Then you, one person, can be incredibly great inspiration for so many people. So look at His Holiness, look at the Buddha. 2,500 years, still all the brilliant people, they're attracted by him. All the brilliant people, they're attracted by him. Intelligent people, they're attracted by him. Many very intelligent people who are very scientific in their nature, they said, if I'm to embrace Buddhism, if I'm to embrace a religion, I'll embrace Buddhism. It doesn't mean to demean other religion. This is, this where the moment you come to uncover your hidden treasure, then that is the most meaningful thing. And then all what otherwise we are doing is also trivial. Okay. Verse number 10. Okay, Anla, come here. Yeah, both Anlas. Sine Anla here, June one here. And our brothers, why you moved? Huh? You're more comfortable, or you think that you are obstructing others? Yeah. So you can unlast compassion. If I sit there, many people will obstruct it. Okay. So 100 and what? 102. Okay, 101. Such things as continuum and aggregation are false. Sportsmen, they are like illusion, in the same way as a rosary and an army. There's no objective owner of suffering. Meaning there's no objective self. Self exists, but self doesn't exist the way we see things as objective real, owner of suffering. Therefore, who has control? Therefore, who has the control of the custody of these things, like my foot, my hand, and so forth? There's no one owner, objectively as an owner, to own these things. So it's just a craving. Then, if there's a case, then these two different, the foot and your hand become two distinct things. Like you and the other person become two distinct. So just you don't take care of the other person, your hand should not be taking care of the foot. If you take care of the foot, you should also take care of the other person. You getting it? This is extremely profound logic. And for the time being, logic works, but experientially is not working, which means that there are two things. The software, this is Bodhisattva chanting the software. Software is his software, is a very sophisticated software. Very sophisticated software. For the sophisticated software to work, we need the hardware upgraded. You getting it? Don't keep the hardware, 50 years old hardware. 50 years hardware. If the software, sophisticated software is to be used, upgrade the hardware. You getting it? What is your hardware? Your thought process. Our thought process should become more smart. Then the software of Bodhisattva Shanti, they would work so effectively. Wow, that's amazing. You're getting it? In fact, there was one person who was very intelligent. Same when he met me, he just said, I read Bodhisattva Shanti's book, and he said one thing, that we never thought that I should be grateful to myself, that I'm giving food to myself. Right? So we give food to others, and then we expect gratitude from the other person, thank you from the other person. Whereas I never, feel, I should never feel that I'm feeding myself every day. Yet I'm not boasting of myself. I'm feeding this person with food, breakfast every day. This is obvious. So likewise, feeding others. So why should you expect the gratitude from the sense of gratitude from the other person? So that person, it works. For many of us, it doesn't work. Because for us, I should take care of myself. Others, why should I take care of? This is the duality that we feel. Whereas your hardware becomes upgraded, then these softwares will work so effectively. You do just one reasoning Bodhisattva Shantideva gave. This will just baffle you. This is so profound. Okay. 102. Being no inherent or objective owner of suffering, there can be no distinction at all between that of myself and others. So if there's no intrinsic reality, then they say just as my feet, my hands, there's no one intrinsic owner there. So these are all separate entities. And if they're separate entities and still you have to take care of your feet by your hands, then others also to be taken by you. So this is obvious. So you don't find any problem. Meanwhile, what is happening is that if you succeed in this, then your compassion grows. Your compassion grows, your happiness grows. And why you are saying that no, I will not help others, is because you think that your happiness is going to be divided. Your happiness is going to shrink. It doesn't shrink, it expands. So this is the irony of the ordinary people. This is the mark of the ordinariness. Somebody who wants a maximum happiness, but do things which will minimize the happiness by being selfish. You're getting it, but not expanding your compassion to others. You expand it, and your compassion increases. Your compassion increases, your happiness expands. This is exactly what the self-centered actor wants. This is, who's that? I think it was Mir who cited His Holiness, right? If you want to be selfish, you wisely selfish. You're going to get. So this is the point. Yeah, I want to. What is my selfishness? I want to expand my happiness. You really want to expand your happiness, expand your compassion. This is the answer. So these are the tips how to expand your compassion. Okay. 102. Being no inherent owner of suffering, there can be no distinction at all between that of myself and others. Thus, I shall dispel it because simply because it hurts, the pains, it hurts. Whether it's mine or others, I remove this. And the good things, because it is helpful, whether it's me, whether it's for others, I will do that. Thus, I shall dispel it because simply it hurts. Whether it's yours, others, it doesn't matter. Why? Am I so certain that I shouldn't eliminate the suffering of others? Next. But since neither the suffering nor the sufferer truly exists, there's no intrinsic. So this is what we all studied here in this very short period, 8 days, and we talk about emptiness. How many got some sense of emptiness? Oh, emptiness makes some sense. Minimum 10%, which sense? 10%. Of course, if you don't get 10%, I'll be very sad. I put a lot of effort. Right? Okay. So those people who loved, they are telling me that don't worry, we appreciate. The lady over there, what's your name? Yara. So Yara was telling me, assuring me, Geshe-la, be happy. Right? Don't be sad. Right? We have to understand something. Okay. Try my best. Try my best, yes. Okay. But since neither the suffering nor the sufferer truly exists, why should I turn away the misery of all? Turn away the misery of all. And this, okay. Now the opponents, okay, this is a good debate from the self-centered attitude, saying that if you say nothing truly exists, there's nothing objectively real, then everything is like illusion. Then why should I really worry about the having to remove the miseries? Because they are like illusion. Why should you worry about that? So Bodhisattva Shantideva says this is no ground for argument. Why? What's your answer? Okay, miseries are like illusion. Why should you worry about having to get into the miseries? Your miseries, others' miseries. Why? What's your answer? Yes, over there, Rachel.
This illusion is believed by, it's getting rid because people believe it. Because people experience it.
Which means they truly exist.
Which means it gets some existence.
Okay. Anyone else? No, the question is that if things are all illusion-like, and you're convinced that things are all illusion-like, why should you have to worry about having to remove the misery? If you're convinced, you're going to get. Because this is the question. Since neither the suffering nor the sufferer truly exists, why should I turn away from the miserable all? You know that now things are all illusion-like, so why should you take the burden of removing the miseries? They're all like illusions.
It sounds very nihilistic, like if nothing exists. So it's when say that the suffering or the sufferer is not existing, it seems like it's pointing to nihilism, that nothing exists, so why worry about it?
So?
Yeah.
So,
but things exist, things do exist.
Why?
They exist conventionally and they don't exist objectively, but they do exist.
Things do exist. So, can you make everybody says yes? In the sense, anybody? How do you say that? Yes, God.
Yeah, it's the first gate. Things
Yes, we have to pass through the two gates. If you're not interested in emptiness, don't worry. Things are objectively real. If you're not interested in emptiness, if you're interested in emptiness, think of the two gates. You getting it? So what Simran is saying is that Simran is not as audacious. What is the word? Audacious? Not as audacious as Scott. Scott said two gates. You're getting it? So you want to get into the gate or get outside the gate? Outside the gate is fine. Continue suffering. Right? You're not interested in to remove the miseries or your tears. That's fine. Is your job. Is your choice. But if you want to stop the tears, then you have to get through the two gates. Two gates. Do not say that things don't exist. You're getting it? The first gate said everything exists. You don't understand emptiness, your miseries will continue. You understand emptiness, misery will stop. So the purpose for understanding emptiness is to stop the miseries. You're getting it? This cause and effect functionality is operating on the illusion-like nature. You're getting it? Okay, so this is what Bodhisattva is saying. Now let's say, there's no ground for argument. For if I prevent my own suffering, surely I should prevent suffering. So now, if you said everything is illusion-like, from that day I'm going to stop eating food. From then I'm going to stop, not going to hospitals when you're sick. If you do that to yourself, then you can think of others also saying. But even though you say that everything is illusion, but when you're hungry, you eat food. You're getting it? So if you think that you understand emptiness, everything is illusion-like, and if you stop eating food, what's the problem? What is it indicative of? That you fall into nihilism. You're getting it? And how will you go? And you realize it's nihilism because when you feel hungry, the pain will force you to eat food. You're getting it? You will not say it's illusion-like and the pain will stop. It will not stop. So there you fall nihilism. What's the real understanding? Emptiness. Emptiness accompanied by understanding of dependent origination. Emptiness accompanied by understanding of dependent origination. This is the real understanding of emptiness. Where the dependent arising is missing. Just empty, this is nihilism. Dependent arising meaning, but dependence on not eating food, my hunger will keep increasing. The pain of hunger keeps increasing. That will originate, dependent origination. You're getting it? By dependence on understanding emptiness, your pains will stop, that will originate. By not understanding emptiness, your pains will continue, this will originate, dependent origination. You're getting it? So therefore, those who understand emptiness in the light of dependent origins, for them, the cause and effect becomes even more convinced that this is something to be something that operates in the world. This governs the world. This governs the whole universe. Okay. If I prevent my suffering, my own suffering, when I'm hungry, you eat food, surely I should prevent the suffering for all. If not, since I'm not just like other sentient beings, I should not prevent my own suffering either. If you say the others are illusion, you also illusion, don't eat food. Okay, then see whether it's illusion or is the data dependent relationship operating. 104. But since this compassion will bring me, okay, now this is the end of the question. So compassion for what? So how many of you came into, say, the Buddhism or attach yourself with some Buddhist centers and so forth, that I have so much happiness, please teach me how to remove my happiness. How many of you go in this direction? Anila? No. And Samala? No. And Sumla, right? Yes. So we all come to some kind of association, either out of some interest or I have so much problem. Please teach me how to get rid of the problems. This is how we came. So therefore, and then they say, in the centers, what do you learn? Practice compassion. So when you practice compassion, compassion means I feel compassion towards more and more people, then I can empathize more and more pain, I feel more and more pain. So the center is giving me more pain by asking me to practice compassion. So it says 104. But since this compassion will bring me much misery, much more pain, misery, why should I exert myself to develop it? I come to center I come to Tushita not to add on my suffering, but to remove my suffering. Now, with compassion, more suffering comes. Okay, this is a very important question. Okay, should I contemplate the suffering of living creatures or sentient beings? How could the measure of compassion be more? Say, if I really think about the suffering of sentient beings, and then suffering that you feel of the compassion is just nothing. And then some people may say, what's the problem? So their pain is so much, I know. And then me, even if my pain is just like 1 million of what they're suffering, even that million of suffering, I don't want to go through. And others, this is their business, not my business. If this is how you say, then it says them, if by one person's suffering, the suffering of many would be destroyed. For example, say Buddha Shakyamuni, Prince Siddhartha, Buddha Shakyamuni, he left the kingdom, which means usually he get the food, very most delicious food, very comfortably. Now he's not getting food, there's hunger coming. Usually he has the very cozy blankets. Now there's no blankets, he's suffering from cold and mosquitoes. All these things are there, the pains are there. With this small pain, if one person's suffering, the suffering of so many would be destroyed. For example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the greatness of His Holiness is a product of the Buddha's teachings. No, Buddha himself liberated so many people into this cognitive transformation to bring about transformation from this sadness and agitation to the calmness and happiness. Now, the product of the Buddha Shakyamuni, Ari Nigarjuna, Acharya Chandrakriti, Bodhisattva Shantideva, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Look at how many people just seeing his face, they feel so much of peace inside. So, how come that they become one like this? Because they endure the suffering of the practice of patience. Now they're able to reveal their hidden treasure, that they themselves are free from pains, and they make others also be free from pains. This all started with the enduring the small pain, and then you get to the liberation from all the pains. If by one person's suffering, the suffering of many would be destroyed, surely kind-hearted people would accept it, would accept a small pain for the sake of themselves and others for the sake of eliminating the numerous pains, endless pains for oneself and for others. Thus, 106, thus Bodhisattva Supushichandra, although aware of the harm the king would cause him, accepted his own suffering in order to eradicate the miseries of many. So there's a story connected with this, that Bodhisattva Supushichandra, he was taking care of so many people, and the king at that time, at that particular place, he was, he was not happy with this Bodhisattva Supushichandra, maybe jealousy and so forth. So many people, say the devotees of Bodhisattva Supushichandra, they requested Bodhisattva, please don't go close to the king. And if he doesn't go there, the king is going to destroy many of the people, going to kill many people. So whereas Bodhisattva Supushichandra goes there, the king is very happy, and then kill Bodhisattva Supushichandra, and many will be freed. Freed meaning they are spared. So the Bodhisattva Chandra, sensing that this is reality, if I go there, he'll kill me. But many can be spared. So he courageously went there. So this are all of compassion. Okay, so this one act of compassion, we the ordinary people may feel, no, I cannot do that. It's too much for me, right? But those people can see things far away in time and in space. In time and space, bigger picture of the reality. For them, this pain is too tiny, and because of this compassion, the pain for us is going to be for like unimaginable pain. For them, this is just nothing. And as I said earlier, when you reach that level, gatte, aragate. When you reach that level, particularly Bodhisattva path, Mahāyāna path, when you reach that level, not the Shravaka Pratik Buddha, when Bodhisattva path, when you reach that level, gatte, aragate level, then say, even if somebody were to cut your body into pieces, instead of pain, you feel the bliss. And the injury will recover very quickly. Instant. So these are the powers of the compassion. So the one time, the Buddha, in presence of Buddha, of the Vajrapani, Bodhisattva Vajrapani. Anybody who has the idea of Bodhisattva Vajrapani? Anybody? Bodhisattva Vajrapani is the three perfect qualities of Buddha. What are they? Perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. So the power. So perfect love represented by Bodhisattva are Manjushri. No, are Abhidhagateshvara. Then the perfect knowledge are Manjushri. Perfect power are Vajrapani. So at Vajrapani, you see that he's depicted with holding a Vajrapani, holder of the Vajra, holding Vajra in his hand. And then the Buddha was presiding over the congregation, and Vajrapani was also there, and King Ajatashatru of that kingdom, he was also there, and Indra was there, and Mughaliana was there, Arhat Mughaliana was there, all of them were there, and King Ajatashatru, he had the air that I'm the most physically, most mightiest person in the world. This is his air. That I'm the mightiest person in the world, physically the strongest person in the world. And he was always seeing Arya Vajrapani with the Vajra in his hand. And he was so curious, what is this Vajra like? And he dared not ask Vajrapani for this. And then the Buddha, of course, read King Ajatashatru's mind. And the Buddha asked Arya Vajrapani, would you mind keeping your Vajra on my table? And Arya Vajrapani put the Vajra on the Buddha's table. Then the Buddha invited King Ajatashatru. King Ajatashatru, you may rise and pick up the Vajra. So King Ajatashatru was so happy that Buddha read my mind. I want to just see what this Vajra is like. Vajrapani is always holding this, and what is it like? And today Buddha read my mind so kindly. They invited me. So he tried to pick it up. He could not pick it up. Then he tried to move it. He could not move it. Then he used his two hands. He felt that he is the mightiest person in the world. And he tried to move this. He couldn't even move. With two hands, he couldn't move. He gave up. Then he passed to Indra, the king of the god and goddess. And Indra uses Vajra all the time. Indra uses Vajra all the time. This is what I use all the time. So he tried just with the forefinger and the thumb. He could not again pick it up. And the whole body tried to move. No. Two hands. No. He gave up. Then he passed to Mughaliana, who is respected as the one with the greatest miracle power amongst the Buddha's disciples. So Mughaliana, then he went into meditative concentration to activate the power, the miracle power. He meditated, went deep into samadhi, and then with the samadhi, the power is the garnered. Then he went to touch the Vajra. He could not move it. With two hands, he could not move it. And Mughal started to cry, weep, like a small child in front of Buddha, saying that, Buddha, what happened to my power, miracle power? Now my miracle power is all gone. Buddha said, your miracle power has not gone. This Vajra, nobody can even move it. For somebody to move this, it requires an incredibly great power. Way more power than the power that your miracle power that you have. It requires so much of power to lift it. And then Buddha invited Arya Vajrapani. Vajrapani picked this up. And Arya Vajrapani with his thumb and the forefinger, pick it up through the sky like a toy and brought it back. Again, Ajatashatru, his sense of air, the arrogance that I'm the mightiest person, it just dissolved. And he did not look at Arya Vajrapani. Right? So look, what he could not move with his two hands, whole body, Vajrapani was just playing like, a toy. So he asked the Buddha, how come that Arya Vajrapani, he's able to just, what we cannot move, what Indra cannot move, what Mughal cannot move, and he is playing like small toy. How come that he has this power? And the Buddha taught that this is known as the power of the Bodhichitta. This is the power of the Bodhichitta. And then King Ajatashatru requested the Buddha, please tell me, say, what are the specific causes which would let me get this power? Then the Buddha enumerated 10 causes. 10 causes was all about the Bodhisattva practice, about respecting others, about respecting your parents, then respecting, so all these are related to the compassion practice. The Buddha enumerated 10 of them. Okay, so this is what this is what I'm saying, that the same gate, para gate. When you reach that level, then they got such power that for ordinary people, the cut and so forth will give you pain. For them, there's no pain, there's a bliss there. And all of that, whatever injury comes and so forth, they just heal instantly. There are many anecdotes, so we don't have much time. Okay.
107.
Now, 107. Thus, because he or she, because they love to pacify the pains of others, those whose mind is attuned in this way would enter even the deepest hell, just as the wild goose plunges into a lotus pool. So, for those beings who are with compassion, enormous compassion for them, even for the sake of somebody, if you are to go to hell, they would happily jump into hell out of great compassion. For us, it is a little something, no, I cannot do that, but it's a matter of you also have to do the nature. And for ordinary people like us, hell means something which is unbearable pain. For Bodhisattvas, the courage is such that they don't feel the pain. Okay. 108. Will not the ocean's joy that shall exist when all beings are free be sufficient for me? Now, when you become a Buddha, you get the capacity to benefit, create joy in all the beings. Just imagine that joy that you get to see the enormous the joy in infinite beings. Is that not good enough for you? Will not the ocean joy that shall exist when all beings are free be sufficient for me? What am I doing? Wishing for my liberation alone is too insignificant, trivial, small in the eyes of the bigger, the joy that you can feel, very profound joy that you could feel by seeing the joy in others. 109. Therefore, although working for the benefit of others, I should not be conceited. So now, when you work for others, I'm doing something for them. Instead, we discuss the 9 steps. 9 steps. The more we think about the demerits of cherishing oneself, the more we see the benefit of cherishing others. So cherishing others is not that I'm doing some favor for others. Cherishing others is for me to look for protection. Protection from the self-centered attitude, which is my demon, which pulls me down into my misery. So let me help you. Let me of service to you, so that I can strengthen my other cherishing, so that my self-centered attitude will be diminished, and all the miseries will stop for me. So if this is your mindset, then you will never feel conceited, you'll never feel haughty, you'll never feel arrogant or proud that I'm doing something for others. Okay. Therefore, 109, therefore, although working for the benefit of others, I should not be conceited, conceited meaning being arrogant, or consider myself wonderful, and because of the joy there is in solely doing this, I should have no hope for any lasting effects, no expectation return. Somebody said it in the early classes when I asked this question, was that real virtue is the virtue without expectation return. 110. Therefore, just as I protect myself from unpleasant things, however small, in the same way I should act towards others with a compassionate and caring mind. So this is where it is the same, contemplating on the demerits of cherishing oneself, contemplating on the merits of cherishing others, and thereby taking suffering of others with emphasis on compassion and giving happiness with emphasis on loving kindness. Okay, 111. Although the base is quite impersonal, meaning that your body is not actually your body. You agree? Your body comes from your parents. Your mind comes from your past life. So these come together and then you say I. Okay. Although the basis, meaning your body, is quite impersonal, it's not really yours. Though through consistent familiarity, I come to regard the drops of sperm and the blood of others, your parents' substance, and on that basis, I get a sense of I. This is through the mind, connecting your mind with that, the substance from the parents. So in the same way, why should I be unable to regard the bodies of others as I? So the way the mother feels towards your children. So the child is in pain, mother could feel the pain. Likewise, so like these two are the one person. Likewise, with the practice, we can also see everybody as a part of yourself. And this is what happens. And you may think that then my miseries will multiply. No, your miseries disappear. This is the ordinary people think that my miseries will multiply. But in reality, your miseries dissolve. 112. In the same way, why should I be unable to regard the bodies of others and I? Hence, it is not difficult to see that my body is also that of others. 113. Having seen the mistakes of cherishing myself, meaning contemplating on demerits to cherish myself, and the original good in cherishing others. So now the step number 2 and 3 of the 9 steps, I shall completely reject all selfishness and accustom myself to accepting others. That is number 4 and 5. In the same way, 1 and 4. In the same way as the hands and so forth are regarded as limbs of the body. Likewise, why embodied creature, all the other creatures not regarded as limbs of the whole one life, and see the life as one entity, and you feel a part of that, and others, you feel the others are also part of that, and you take care of others just as your hand takes care of your feet. 115. Through acquaintance has the thought of I arisen towards the impersonal body. So it is only through the acquaintance with the mental effect of the karma that you associate yourself with the body that acquired from somebody else's substance, and you feel that's I. Through acquaintance has also thought of I arisen towards this impersonal body. So in a similar way, why should it not arise towards other living beings? When I work in this way for the sake of others, I should not let conceit or the feeling of wonderful arise. It's just like feeding myself with the breakfast. I should not feel proud that I'm feeding myself breakfast. I hope for nothing in return. So no expectation in return. Therefore, just as I protect myself from unpleasant things, however slight, in the same way I should habituate myself to have a compassionate and caring mind for others. It is out of this great compassion that our Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion, Avalokiteshvara has even blessed his name. Anybody who hears the name of Avalokiteshvara, Chandra is saying, anybody who hears his name, and he prayed, he blessed his name, that anybody who hears his name, the nervousness, the fear in the beings are dispelled. You dispel the nervousness of beings, of being among other people. I should not turn away from what is difficult. And you may think, oh, yes, this is very good. If you reach that level, but I'm very low person, I'm very the lowly level. So therefore, it's very difficult to don't worry. It's difficult, but there's nothing which will not become easy through familiarization. I should not turn away from what is difficult, for by the power of familiarity, with familiarity, I may be made unhappy with familiarity. Somebody who's your deadliest enemy at one point in life, and then gradually, for some reasons, you become very close friends. To the extent that although earlier part of the life, you may think that he is my deadliest of the enemy. You just even don't want to hear this person's name. Later on, you become very close friends, and then you don't want to separate from that person. Okay, is that possible? Or have you seen somebody like that in your life, presents? Yes. In fact, it happened to me also. Like when I was 22, 23 years old, when I was studying Anila's Institute, Anidwala. So we are from the same institute. Only thing is the generation gap. Grandchildren's age. Okay, so there, when I was where's 22? There. Okay, when I was her age, in my class, when her age, there was one monk, my classmate, one monk, who I didn't really appreciate what he did. So he would, not divide. His perception is divided. So this is my category, our class, So this, I did not really appreciate it. So I want everybody I want to be inclusive, to include everybody, not everybody. This is not good. So, and then he knows that I do not really appreciate him. So when he sees me, it's cold. When I saw him, it's cold. There was a Cold War going with these two young monks. Then I think the very next year, still with the same class, and next year, I was during the winter the holidays. How many months holiday? 2 months. 2 months. So I used to go to South India to study more with my teacher, Geshe Dorji, study with him, and then he went for a holiday to his family's house. And we're in the same, the area. And my teacher also came, the founder of the Institute of Day8. He also came there. And he used to be a very tough teacher. Bodhisattva inside, superficially you not see Bodhisattva. Very tough, right? Everybody scared. And my teacher knew that I was studying, and my teacher knew that the other boy, he is chilling out. Right? So my teacher called him to the monastery and said, "What are you doing?" My teacher already knew he's very smart. And he said, "I'm with my family." So he said, "Why are you wasting your time? Come here and teach Tibetan language to these young monks." So he made him to teach from the family house to the monastery. He comes cycling under the scorching sun. And I don't know whether he's even getting water to drink. So, because of the instruction of the teacher, he has to come every day. Cycling, no holiday. Holidays for it. And teaching, and after teaching, he has to rest. Where to rest? No place to rest. So, only person that he knows is me. So, he came to me. Because he came to me, my attitude is inclusive. So, we became extremely close. Extremely close. Earlier, just the mere thought of him disturbs me. So maybe the same thing, but mere thought of this man disturbs him. So now we become extremely close. He would come, sleep in the temporary place that I'm given. So he sleeps there, he eats with me, he gets a lunch, he gets everything here. We become very close till day. So now it's about almost 30 years. This is profound friendship. It's amazing. So what's that? It's very true. So it's just about how the mind works, where we feel that there's an enemy. This is very, say, what provisional. It's not the intrinsically real. It's dependent originator. By changing the factors, you two can become extremely close. So it says that, what is that? 119. Okay, it says, I should not turn away from what is difficult, for by the power of familiarity, I may be made unhappy even when someone whose name once frightened or will make me so agitated. And now it has changed to such a state where that I feel so unhappy not to see the person nearby. Okay, next. Thus, whoever wishes to quickly afford protection to himself and other beings should practice a holy secret. Okay, this is where this teaching, Bodhisattva Shantideva said that this is to be maintained confidential, keep it secret. Why? Ordinary people do not understand it. People think that you are crazy. You are something brain damage. So therefore, because they think that, no, this will never happen. This can never happen. So therefore, keep it confidential to yourself, and you practice yourself, and then who can understand, who has reached some level of understanding, then you can share with them. Otherwise, keep it secret. What is that secret? The teaching, exchanging of the self for others. That is step number 6. You getting it? Step number 6. You remember? 9 steps was step number 6. Sharon. Step number 6 out of 9 steps. Check it. Okay, Neha. Yes. Yes.
The actual exchange of self-water.
Yes. So now this is the practice. Actual exchanging of self for others. It doesn't mean that from today onwards you become I become you. This is not exchange. Exchange is what? Exchanging the object of cherishing. Exchanging the object of cherishing. That's why I cherish myself and discard others. From today onwards, if I were to cherish somebody, I'll cherish others more than myself. You getting it? And then thus far, I've been indifferent towards others. And from today onwards, if I were to be indifferent with somebody, I'll rather be indifferent with myself than to others. Exchanging the object of cherishing and being indifferent. So this is meaning of. And why we are doing this? It is not that you are insignificant, you are not important. This is not the point. The point is to undermine our self-centered attitude. Not that you are not important. You are very important. Keep in mind that you are very important. In fact, why you are very important is because you can become a Buddha. You can protect all the beings. This is so precious. But these are practices we do so that you will realize that how important this self is. Without this selfishness, this self can become a magic. With the selfishness, it becomes a demon. Without the selfishness, so therefore selfishness to be destroyed. You employ any technique by which the selfishness is destroyed, and then the pure self manifests, meaning that this I is left like the gold, burning gold, remove the fire, dip in the cold water, what happens? The fire goes away. Demon of self-centered disappears, and the pure gold is left. The self is left. That self is so precious. That self can become Buddha and be a source of benefit to all the Jima sentient beings. Okay. 1-to-1. Because of attachment to my body, even a small object of fear frightens me. So why all these fears happen? Just check that. Why the fears, unhappiness, irritation come? Check the causes. We see that it's all because of attachment. Attachment to my body, even a small object of fear frightens me. So who would not revile as an enemy? Who will not feel aversion as an enemy to this body that gives rise to fear in me? By wishing for means to remedy the hunger, thirst, and sickness of the body, I might kill birds. So what I do, for example, all these nasty things that people doing. One thing is for the wealth. Wealth for what? So that majority of the whatever income that we have, just tell me, how many you agree with me that 99% minimum, 99% of whatever wealth that you have is used for your own body. Sustenance body. Yes. So therefore, and in the process, how to get this wealth? How to get this wealth? Some people, they go through a very pure means, and others, they go through corruption and so forth. All these nasty things are done. And for small, you lose, distance for you lose the small, let's say, the benefit, joy, happiness, pleasure, and then you fight, kill, all these negative things happen. 122. By wishing for means to remedy the hunger, thirst, and sickness of the body, I might kill birds, fish, and deer, and loiter by the sides of the roads to rob others. And meanwhile, accumulate so much negative karma, and then suffer more in the future. What makes me to engage in these things? Because of the cherishing the self. There's an attachment. Attachment was cherishing the self. Self-centered attitude. 124. If for the sake of his profit and comfort, I would even kill one's own father, mother, and so yes, it happens. Are very, very scary. There are cases where some people, they, let's say, the father, mother, both, or one is left, one is already gone, and then living in his or her own house. And if he or she is going to die, they go to the son or the daughter, whatever, and the son wants the place right now. Then son or the daughter, whatever, wants the mother to go somewhere else, sell this property, and the money will go to me. So I know many of these cases. You're getting it? Sell this property. Mom, you are just one person. Why do you need this property? You don't need that. Oh, stay with my, father-in-law. Stay with my mother-in-law. Stay with them in a single room there. This property, you'll sell it, and I need to buy a house for me. Very, very selfish. And meanwhile, you become so much negative karma. Negative karma, where in the future lifetimes, you'll never meet with any, say, the privileges. You continue to suffer in hell. This is all of the ignorance. If you know these facts, you will never dare to do these things. Okay. 1, 2, 3. If for the sake of its profit and comfort, I would even kill one's own parents and steal the property of the triple gem, then I would undoubtedly proceed to burn the flames of the deepest hell. 1 to 4. Therefore, what wise man would desire, protect, and venerate this body? Who would not scorn it and regard it as an enemy? Yes, it is the same. This body, on one hand, is a great capacity if you use it productively. The human life is so precious, which allows you to have this beautiful brain to understand emptiness, to understand Bodhichitta. But if you don't use for this purpose, then all the energy will go after just feeding this body. And this body will not become more and more beautiful. It will not become more and more strong, right? No matter how much you go to gym, muscles not keep multiplying, right? As you age, muscles keep shrinking. No matter how much you go to gym, it'll keep shrinking. You agree? You agree? Right? No matter how much you do yoga and so forth, but by the time you reach age 70, 80, 90, your body will not be as flexible as what you used to be when you're 20. Do you agree? So this is your body. It's not the problem with yoga. It's not the problem with gym. It's a problem of your body. You're getting it? If you don't use this body in a wise way, then this body will steal away your time, resources, everything, and at the end, this body will go to meaninglessness. Okay. 1 to 5. If I give this, now, what should be your mindset? Mindset, finally keep in mind that whatever way you think is for you to expand is to unravel your hidden treasure of fearlessness and infinite happiness. And these are tips given. So, mindset that, okay, I have, let's say, $100. If I give $100, then what will I have left with? Right? This is, Bodhisattva Shantideva says, that this is the devil's thinking. Whereas, they say, if I give it to myself, what am I left with to give to others? This is the divine thinking. Okay, let me read this once more. 1 to 5. If I give this, what shall I have left to enjoy? Such selfish thinking is the way of the ghost, demons. If I enjoy this, what shall I left to give out to others? Such selfless thinking is the quality of the gods, or the divine. 1 to 6. If for my own sake I cause harm to others, I shall be tormented in hellish realms. So, if for my own benefit, if I try to cause harm to others, the consequences I have to suffer in hell. But if for the sake of others, I cause harm to myself. For example, like if somebody is to go in the sun, in the scorching sun, to help somebody, and one has to go there, and then instead of letting the other person go, you go there, so you are under the harm. Scorching sun. Meanwhile, you purify negativities, negative karmas, and you give so much of course positive karma. What's the outcome? Outcome is that I shall acquire all that is magnificent. For example, say good health, good look, and say wealth, good environment, good companions. These are all the results of your benefiting others in the past life. Okay, 1 to 7. By holding myself in high esteem, I shall find myself in unpleasant realms, ugly and stupid. But should this attitude be shifted to others, I shall acquire honors in the joyful realm. If I employ others for my own purpose, I myself shall experience servitude in the future. But if I use myself for the sake of others, I shall experience only loneliness. Whatever joy, summary, whatever joy there is in this world, in short, whatever joy there is in this world, it all comes from desiring others to be happy. And whatever suffering there is in the world, it all comes from desiring myself to be happy, the selfishness. And then say a summary, and then present in the form of an example, metaphor, illustration. What need is there to say much more? Say we have two beings, ordinary people like us and the Buddhas. Deep inside, they are same. Both the Buddha has the Buddha like the diamond in shopping in the showroom, and ours is diamond in the ditch. You're getting it? Which is more expensive? Diamond showroom, 1 kg diamond showroom, 1 kg diamond in the ditch. Which is more expensive? In the showroom, which means that you have no experience of diamonds. Diamond experts will say that no, it's same. Diamond in the dish, you pick it up, clean it up, put in the showroom, it becomes showroom diamond. You getting it? So we all like diamond in the dish. So clean this up and go into the showroom. Then we become the Buddhas. Okay. So it says that there are two classes of beings, ordinary beings and the Buddhas. How come that they become Buddha? Buddha Shakyamuni students, how come that they become Buddha? Because they have always think about others all the time. And why we've been suffering, some suffering beings? Why in the ditch? Why suffering all the time? Sickness, aging, death, fights over the property, so forth. Why all these things? Husband, wife, children, parents are fighting. Why all these problems? Because of the self-cherishing. So just look at this. From this we see that abandon self-cherishing and then become a Buddha, that you experience the greatness of the magnificence of your Buddha nature manifest fully. Okay. 130. What need is there to say much more? The Chinese work for their own benefit, the Buddhas work for the benefit of others. Just look at the difference between them. The Buddha who experiences fearlessness and infinite happiness, and the childish who suffer all the time. 131. If I do not actually exchange my happiness, now exchanging. If I do not actually exchange my happiness for the suffering of others, I shall not attain the state of Buddhahood. Your hidden treasure will not be manifested. And while in samsara, I will never experience joy. Even such existence shall have no joy. Let alone what is beyond this world. Because of my servants doing no work, because of selfishness, servants will not work for you. And because my master is giving me no pay, and because of selfishness, when you don't work, your employees will not give you the pay. Even the needs of this life will not be fulfilled. But rejecting the method that is such both foreseeable and unforeseeable joy, I cast magnificent delight completely aside, and then because of inflicting misery on others, in confusion I seize hold of unbearable pain. If all the injury, fear, and the pain in this world arise from grasping at self, then what use is that all these pains are because of the cherishing the self. What use is this great ghost of me, goes to me, cherishing. If I do not completely forsake this self-cherishing, I shall be unable to put an end to suffering, just as I cannot avoid being burned if I do not cast aside the fire. So, therefore, what is the fire? Self-centered attitude. Remove this. Therefore, in order to allay the harms inflicted upon me, to remove the harms inflicted upon me, and in order to pacify the suffering of others, I shall give myself up to others and cherish them as I do my very self. I'm under the control of others. Okay, what should I do? I just quickly read this and finish this off. Okay, I'll just read this. I'll just read this. I'm under the control of others. Of this mind, you must be certain. Now, except for benefiting every creature, you must not think of any excuse. I'm under the control of others, meaning that, okay, now I've decided to give up my self-cherishing. I will start to benefit others. So this means that I'm for others. So I'm in my mind. Because of this, now what should I be doing? Of this mind, you must be certain. Now, except for benefiting every creature, you must not think of anything else. So your job is just to benefit others. Because you already made a commitment that cherishing myself is the root of all my miseries, cherishing others is the divinely action. For my own sake, I should not do anything with these eyes and so forth that I have left at the disposal of others. It is quite incorrect to do anything with them which is contrary to the benefit of others. I should just delegate everything for others. Meanwhile, it doesn't mean that you are neglecting yourself. Meanwhile, you enjoy and multiply. You can so much of positive karma for you too. The unravel this hidden treasure within you. 139. Thus, sentient beings should be my main concern. Whatever I behold from my body, I should rob and use for the benefit of others. Considering lesser beings so forth as myself. Okay, now look, this is known as exchanging stuff for others. Say, and now you see that others more important. So his soul is, I remember when giving this teaching, said that we do one thing. Say, you see all other beings on one side, and you put yourself on the other side, and you be like the judge. You be like the judge. A replica of you is here, and you are seeing yourself there, and all the beings there. Now you realize that cherishing others is a source of your ultimate happiness. Cherishing yourself is source of your pain. So with this, now you said, now I'll not cherish you, I'll cherish you. I'll not cherish group B, I will cherish group A. What is group A? All the other sentient beings. What is group B? Self. I'm not going to cherish the self, I'm going to cherish all the beings. Who's saying this? I'm saying this. You're getting it? So this is an incredible exercise, mental exercise to build your outer cherishing. And then, so it says that you practice envy, meaning jealousy, practice competitiveness, and practice the looking down upon others. How? You, there, and all the sentient beings. So you take the side of the sentient beings. Say that, and then you, when you see that you is better than the sentient beings, then sentient beings, you, on behalf of sentient beings, feel jealous of this. You understand it? And then you see that you and all sentient beings are same. You take the side of sentient beings, say that you are being competitive with them, competitive with you. And then you, let's say you and sentient beings, you are inferior, and you take the side of inferior in comparison with sentient beings, you take the side of sentient beings and look down upon the self. So this is where other cherishing increases, self-cherishing diminishes. You're getting it? So this is all about this practice. Okay, I'm not going to explain each one of them. I'll just read it as from the auspicious indication. Okay, 140. Considering lesser beings and so forth as myself, meaning all sentient beings as myself, and consider myself as the other. So his soul said there are two ways of doing it. You just swap, or the best thing would be you as the judge. You create the all sentient beings on one side, and you here, and you do this exercise. Okay. So, considering lesser beings and so forth as myself, and considering myself as other, in the following way, I should meditate upon envy, competitiveness, and self-improvement, with a mind free of distorted concepts. He is honored. Who? That I. And honor And we, the sentient beings, we are not honored. Okay, he's honored, but I'm not. I'm not meaning, who is this I? All sentient beings. You have not saw the place. I've not found wealth such as he. He's praised, but I'm just despised. He's happy, but I suffer. I have to do all the work while he remains comfortably at rest. He's renowned as great in this world, but I'm inferior with no good qualities at all. Okay, so you are taking side of all sentient beings where this you is better than the sentient beings. Then you practice envy. Okay, on behalf of the sentient beings. Okay. 143. But what do you mean when I have no good qualities? Meaning that sentient beings, it's not that the sentient beings, we don't have good qualities. I have all good qualities. Compared to many, he's inferior. And compared to many, I'm high. Meaning, who's I? Sentient beings. Very good. 144. The deteriorated state of my morals and views is not due to me, but due to my disturbing conceptions. What is disturbing conceptions? Afflictions. In whatever way he should heal me. This person should help sentient beings. Willingly, I shall accept my discomfort involved, but I'm not being healed by him. He's not doing anything for the major sentient beings. Why does he belittle me? What use are his good qualities to me? He meaning? Myself. Although he has good qualities, he does not benefit me, benefit the larger group. With no compassion for the beings who dwell in the poisonous small evil realms, externally he is proud of his good qualities and wishes to put down the wise. In order that I may excel, he who is regarded as equal with me, that me is sentient beings, and he is you. I shall definitely strive to attain material gain and honor myself, even by such means, verbal dispute. By all means, I shall make clear to the entire world all the good qualities I have, meaning all the good qualities sentient beings have. Also, I shall hide all my faults, meaning faults of the sentient beings, and I'll be venerated. Sentient beings will be venerated, but not this person, this I. I'll find a great deal of material gain. I'll be honored, but he shall not. For a long time, I shall look with pleasure at his being made inferior, meaning this person, I, who is otherwise very egoistic. He said he will become the laughing stock to all, regarded among everyone as an object of scorn and derision. It is said that this deluded one is trying to compete with me. Compete with me, that deluded one means the self is competing with the other sentient beings. But how can he be equal with me in learning, intelligence, form, class of wealth? Thus, upon hearing my good qualities that have been made well known to all, I shall thoroughly enjoy the satisfaction of the pleasant tingling sensation that occurs. Even though he has some possessions, if he's working for me, meaning that if this person, is working for sentient beings, okay, I shall give him just enough to live on. And by force, I'll take the rest and give to sentient beings. Who is saying this? You are saying this on behalf of the sentient beings. 154. His happiness and comfort will decline, and I shall always cause him harm. Meaning that this person should not let him rise. I shall always cause him harm. For hundreds of times in the cycle of rebirth, he has caused harm to me. Because the desire to benefit yourself, O mind, all the weariness you have gone through over countless past eons has only succeeded in achieving misery. Therefore, I shall definitely engage myself in working for the benefit of others. For since words of the mighty ones are infallible, I shall behold its advantage in the future. If in the past I practiced this out of exchanging stuff for others, if I practiced this Bodhichitta since many lifetimes ago, but now I will not suffer like this. I will already, my hidden treasure will be manifest already. A situation such as this, devoted magnificence and bliss of Buddha could not possibly have come about. Therefore, just as I have come to hold as I, this drops of sperm blood of others, likewise through acquaintance, I shall also come to regard all others as me. Having thoroughly examined myself to see whether I'm really working for others or not, I shall steal whatever appears from my body and use it for the benefit of others. I'm happy, but others are sad. I'm high. So this I is the real I, and then the others mean sentient beings. I'm happy, but others are sad. I'm high, though others so low. I benefit from myself but not others. Why am I not envious of myself? I must separate myself from happiness and take upon myself the suffering of others. Why am I doing this now? In this way, I should examine myself for faults. Although others maybe someday do something wrong, I should transform it into fault of my own. But should I do something even slightly wrong, I should openly admit it to many people. By further describing the renown of others, and then I will describe the renown of others, I should make it outshine my own. I will make others be renowned to outshine myself. Just like the lowest kind of servant, I should employ myself for the benefit of all. I should not praise my natural default within self for some temporary good quality it may have. I shall never let even a few people know of any good qualities I may possess. In brief, for the sake of living creatures, other sentient beings, may all the harms I have selfishly caused to others descend upon me, myself. Let not that this tea, I taking the suffering of others on myself and giving happiness to others with absence of compassion and loving kindness. I should not be dominating and aggressive, acting in a self-righteous, arrogant way. Instead, like a newly married bride, I should be bashful, timid, and estranged. Thus, O mind, you should think and abide in this way, and not as selfishly as below. If under the control of self-cherishing, you transgress this code, your selfishness will be your end. However, mind, although you have been advised, if you do not act in a like manner, then since all misfortunes or miseries will entrust themselves to you, you will only be destined to destruction and miseries. The previous times when you could overcome me is now past, meaning that previous time you meaning the self, overcome me meaning overcome sentient beings, now that is past. Now I see your nature and your faults, meaning selfishness, and wherever you go, I should destroy your arrogance or selfishness. I should immediately cast aside all thoughts to work for my own sake. By having sold you to others, I sold you meaning sold myself to others. I promise to work for sentient beings. I shall not become discouraged, but shall offer up all the strength to others. If having become unconscientious, I do not give you to all living beings, it is certain that you will deliver me, you meaning selfishness, will deliver me to the gardens of the hells. For ages have you dealt with me like this, and I've suffered long, but now recalling all my grudges, I shall overcome your selfish thoughts. Likewise, if I wish to be happy, I should not be happy with myself. And similarly, if I wish to be protected, this is what is called as the wisely selfish. And similarly, if I wish to be protected, I should constantly protect all others. To whatever degree I take care of this body, to that degree I shall fall into a state of extreme helplessness. Having fallen this way, if my desires are unable to be fulfilled, even by the everything upon this earth, what else will be equal to satisfy? And my desire, selfishness gives us desire, and desire wants everything. But we get still you are very poor. Still you think that you are not say you don't have enough. 176, being unable to fulfill them, though desiring to do so, disturbing conception, afflictions, and dissatisfied mind will ensue. But if I do not depend on any material things, the exhaustion of my good fortune will be unknown. So my exhaustion of good fortune will stop, my good fortune will continue to grow. Therefore, I shall never create an opportunity for the desires of the body to increase. For whatever I do not grasp as attractive, these are the best of all the possessions. When I stop the attachment, when I stop the desire, this is the best of the possessions. In the end, my body will turn to dust, unable to move up itself. It will be propelled by other forces. Why do I grasp this unbearable and unclean form as I now? Whether it lives or whether it dies, what uses this machine, the human body, for me? It doesn't mean that you neglect this body. It simply means that don't be too obsessed with this body. Use this body for the benefit of unraveling the hidden treasure within you. How is it different from a clot of earth? Oh, why do I not dispel the pride of it being mine, having accumulated suffering for no purpose because of my honoring and serving this body, but uses this attachment anger for this thing that is similar to a piece of wood? Whether I'm caring for my body in this way, or whether it is being eaten by vultures at the end of the day when it dies, it is no attachment or hatred towards these things. Why then am I too attached to it? If my body knows no anger when derided and no pleasure when praised, for what reason am I wearing myself out like this, meaning that my body per se, my body does not have the also that, oh, he's being so nice, carrying me. No, body is like inanimate object, but you false illusion of I, which is so attached to this body that you are wasting all your time after this. 183. But what? But I want this body of mine, both it and I are friends. But since all beings want their bodies, why do I not find joy in theirs? Therefore, in order to benefit all beings, I should give up this body without any attachment. But although it may have many faults, I should look after it. Now look, although this body has so many faults, but I should look after it while experiencing the results of my previous actions. Because the previous karmas I've worked in this body, and with the body I can become enlightened. Using the properly, I can become enlightened to benefit all the beings. So enough of this childish behavior. I shall follow in the steps of the wise. What is the steps of wise? To unravel the hidden treasure, not to waste your time after the trivialities. And having recalled the advice concerning conscientiousness, I shall turn away sleep and mental dullness, just like the compassionate sons of the conqueror. Compassionate, instead of compassionate sons, is better translated compassionate children, because the Tibetan word is pu. Pu does not mean boys. Pu is a common word for boys and girls. Pupo is boys, pumo is the girls. Pu is a common word. So many people who do not know these nuances, they think that it's the sons. It's not sons. Just like the compassionate children of the conqueror, meaning the Buddhas, the compassionate children meaning the Bodhisattvas, the female Bodhisattvas, male Bodhisattvas, both included. I shall patiently accept what I have to do, for if I do not make a constant effort day and night, when will my misery ever come to an end? Therefore, in order to dispel the obscurations which obscure this hidden treasure within me, I shall withdraw my mind from mistaken ways, ignorance, and constantly place it in the equipoise upon the perfect object of the cherishing. Yeah. Okay, since it's already like almost 1:30, instead of 2:30, we'll come back at 3, and come back 3, same time as before, 3. Then 3 to 4, we have the question answer. From 4 to end of 1 hour, the song offering very quick. Yes. So, mantle offering? Yes, okay. So the tradition has said to offer mantle at the end of the teaching. 저 지금라 Guru Namindala Vanirateya. Tage tuje deso chon shenge meto dege bonjomba sege nubo tabu jebe gu shage gebo kyola cha se lo om mone mone Mahamonaye Swaha Om Muni Muni 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 Mahamonaye Swaha